But we have even reports like now the referral hospital in Eldoret, which has been escalated, allegedly escalated from 17 billion to 28 billion, and there's now a recording which supposedly implicates the deputy president. Is the president really going to be able to deal with all this?
You know, I think when you are a president or a deputy president, then anything that implicates your name, somebody, that recording, I read the newspapers, I listened to that recording. To me, somebody went and said, look, I'm representing the deputy president on this one, and our deal is ABCD. And actually, the wheelie dealers represent bigger people. Soon you may hear somebody say, I'm representing the president. I'm representing Senator Mombasa. That does not, in my view, say exactly that the deputy president is going into corruption. He's taking, increasing the amount of money so that he can get his cut. Although I know that my deputy president, you know, some people, when you have a bad blood, everything bad they want to push to the side.
But he seems to come up in quite a number of, you know, questionable deals. As much as you say that he keeps to come up.
I hope that will not happen to my future presidential candidate here, that when now the time comes, everything bad, the Al-Shabaab and everything. So his name has featured, and there is a general now bias. When you accuse him of corruption, then people don't want to give him the benefit of doubt. But this one, I think somebody was trying to make money, both sides. Then some people were throwing names, okay? And the deputy president has come up clearly and stated what the minister said is what is the correct position. Okay. But either way, they all need to be investigated.
Hassan, do you think things are just coming up at him, you know, but his name keeps coming up again and again and again?
I think the frequency is leading to a perception. You know, when things are repeated often, they crystallize as truth. And I think they are starting to crystallize as truth. One thing is institutions, including governments, often acquire the values or the style or character of its leaders. So you reasonably predict what kind of a leader you have up there. And that's why you can run a string of mediocrity. You realize this man is an ethnic demagogue. So if I come from his ethnic community, I can make mistakes and get away with it. This guy actually is Arab Mashamba, so I can also steal a few things and get away with it. So that's how leaders, but when you realize that this is Michael Gitonga, this guy is no nonsense, you start to realize also it acquires the character, value systems of leaders. That's why you see institutions, one will say, oh, when this man was at the helm of that institution, it was different. It's because, so I don't, what you see as part of these issues that are unending are part of the characteristic of the leadership that Jubilee either demonstrates or its people assume are the values and appetite of their larger constituents, of their leadership. But secondly, the brother, sister, first cousin of corruption is secrecy. Under this covert, what we call procurements, I think if we were to lift that lead, is the most probably mind-boggling corruption. For me, the one which I think was the most unpatriotic, an act of treason, is for anybody to go to Jordan and buy scrap metal for our Air Force. Whoever that is, I hope statute of limitation will not bar us from taking this person before a firing squad in terms of real, for facing corruption charges. That's what has made this country more vulnerable, has made this country more insecure. It's the theft. It is like stealing from a hospital. You kill patients. When you steal from the security agencies, you kill patients. You kill the country. And therefore, that's why it's an act of treason. It's an act of murder. It's an act of negligence. It's every act is when corruption is undertaken under the cover of secrecy. But secondly, we must surely find a way to audit covert accounting. There must be a way through parliamentary, like the Foreign Relations Committee of the Senate is responsible for auditing covert operations, covert accounting of security agencies within the United States. We must have a way in which the security expenditures must be audited. You've heard of this, how monies were carried in Land Rovers, 2 billion or stuff like that, used in election. There's slush funds which people can just go in and just with a mere paper sign that you've taken 1 million, 2 million shillings. I think it is bought us right now to develop systems and mechanisms to audit covert operations or covert resources.
All right. Now, what's your take on the deputy president's name, popping up in so many different questionable deals?
Well, for me, the way I look at it is the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. This is a man who was implicated in the maize scandal. This is a man who was implicated in the dispossession of one Adrian Muteshi's 100 acres in Uasin Gishu, Eldoret, and a matter in which he was actually found culpable in civil court. Actually, if it were a criminal court, he would be behind bars right now. So he has been subjected to due process in the past and found guilty of wrongdoing. So when you have that kind of person in leadership, you can only expect more of the same. What's going to happen today that's going to change his character or his behavior all of a sudden? Nothing. So the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And I get surprised when my senior here keeps making excuse after excuse for Jubilee government's ineptitude and unwillingness, political lack of will to deal with the issue of corruption. He keeps saying, no, this is not the president's problem, this is not the deputy. Then whose problem is it? Why are you in power?